The second to last day of my Munda Biddi adventure. You can follow your dream. I ride my own ride. My rest day in Denmark coincided with Remembrance Day. The memorial, fresh with flowers, stood quietly beneath a sky filled with bushfire smoke. It felt still and a little surreal. Back at the hotel, Daisy finally decided I was okay, and I took time to sort my gear, ready for the final days ahead. I'm just about to leave Denmark. On the corner there is the hotel where I stayed the last 2 nights, and I had a rest day, and it was really lovely. It was a really enjoyable stay, a lovely little town. Very much needed 1-day break. Now I'm on my way to Cosy Corner. Okay, out of the town by about 100 metres, and we're on a nice little paved path along the river. So I need to keep an eye out for walkers, and later in the day I need to keep an eye out for snakes. Apparently this next section I'm doing up to Cosy Corner, there's a lot more snakes than normal. So this is obviously the river mouth where the little guy on his kayak doing the morning kayak. You know, I'm going to miss this as much as I've banged on about how much it's been a challenge for me, and I won't deny that I've been a real whinger about this. I'm really going to miss it. I'm almost crying. It's been such an adventure. I'm so bloody proud of myself for giving it a go. Because mate, I am not a type 2 adventure person. I don't do this. But I did it. I bloody did it. I said, I'm going to do this. And I did it. Well, I'm doing it. I've got 2 more days. But the plan is to finish, obviously. But yeah, I'm really going to miss it. I don't know if it's a lifestyle I could sustain. But for like 26 days, it's been absolutely awesome. You've just got to be mindful of other cyclists when I stop. I don't have this complete trail to myself. I need to share it. So we've got a pelican. So we just crossed that lovely bridge, saw the pelicans, and we're about to ride around the Wilson Inlet Heritage Trail. Jim told me that this is going to be a lovely ride. It's always nice to start the day with nothing too challenging, for me anyway. I just quite like a nice, easy, cushy wee ride for the morning to lift my spirits. Because sometimes in the mornings, especially when you're riding solo, well, for me personally, I find it quite hard to get motivated to get on the bike and get going. So yeah, a lovely, nice little cruisy trail ride to get the day started. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
This is definitely a rail trail. I feel I'm back on the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail, which I have to say is going to feel mighty easy compared to the stuff I've been doing over the last 3 weeks. Although that being said, the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail is stunning and highly rated. If you want a nice 3-day holiday, I highly recommend you make that trip up to Queensland to ride the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. Morning.
Hey.
Morning. So this is Wilson's Inlet. The tide is high, and this little trail runs right along the edges, I think, for quite some time before it cuts in. What a beautiful way to start the second to last day of my Munda Biddi adventure. I can't believe that I've only got 1 more day cycling after today and it's all done. I honestly didn't think I'd get here, to be honest. I didn't think I'd make it. I'm almost there. So I just saw this little level-ish walkway down to the beach. I thought I can go down there. It's not steep. And we get to, gosh, we've even got somewhere to lean the bike. Ooh, sort of. Now, unfortunately, my bike rack has ceased to function as I would want it to. There you go. Voila! Look at this. Oh, there's the wind farms over there. That must have been where I came from yesterday, the day before yesterday. And I came all the way down here to Denmark. Gotta watch out for the dog poo along here because it's a very popular trail for dog walkers in the morning. A really pretty trail. Very, very pretty. There's a swamp sort of off to the side there. You probably can't see that. This reminds me of my home turf out on the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. I never realised, that's where I did a lot of my prep for this. Little did I realise that it was totally inadequate for what I've just done. Totally. My best advice to anyone who's not a mountain biker, I guess, who's not has not done a lot of this type of, not this type, but the other type, is to load your bike up and take it out on some mountain bike trails in your hometown and just get used to switchbacks, single track, narrow tracks with roots and rocks. If you can do that, you'll be able to do the Munda Biddi. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have those skills, so I pretty much struggled all the way with that, but that would be my hot tip, is to prep yourself, in particular if you're not a mountain biker, with at least a small handful of those skills, and it'll make your journey a lot more pleasant. And then bam, rail trail over, we're on the gravel road. So you have to keep your ears open for cars. They can sort of, oddly enough, sneak up on you. Okay, it is a rail trail. Had all the hallmarks of a rail trail. This is going to be lovely. Never thought I'd say lovely about a rail trail, but oh dear. Sorry for all you purists out there, but you've got to ride your own ride. And this ride's definitely helped me. I love riding, I love my bike, I love it. Definitely not the hardcore stuff. I've done it, I can do it, sort of, even if I have to walk. But yeah, that's what this trip has been extremely useful for, is zoning in on my level of enjoyment for my riding. For that I'm grateful. What a beautiful rail corridor. It's a lot more lush than the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. It's very dry in places. This is a lot more, not tropical, there's a word for it. I'm not good with words. You know what I'm talking about. Green, lush, rainforesty possibly. Watch out for these sticks. Go away, birdie. Come on. Don't just waddle. And into single track. Well, not really single track, just a single bike lane. It was double track, but we've all created this little lane. Oh, this is gorgeous. I'm going to stop. Seriously. Pity there's not more light. We're a little bit overcast today, which is probably a good thing because it'll keep the sun off me. That day coming into Denmark where I had to stop wearing my brim because of the high winds, I actually got quite sunburnt on my nose and cheeks. So these brims, highly rated, look ridiculous, but they do the job with the sun. They stop the magpies from pecking your ears. And they're also excellent in the rain, keeping the rain off your goggles or your glasses. So I've had mine for about 4 years now. Everyone goes, oh yeah, they're expensive, but I'm telling you, it's an investment. For me, coming from Queensland, to be honest, in the summer months. Even in the summer in Queensland, you can get terribly burnt. It's just occurred to me, I need to keep a sharp eye out for snakes, especially in narrow sections where there's grass on either side. I'd totally forgotten about that. I was away in dreamland. Last thing I want is to get bit by a snake or to run over and hurt a snake. That's the other thing, because the snakes are a very vital part of the ecosystem. I don't have a thing against snakes whatsoever. I just don't want to hurt one, and I don't want to startle one enough for it to bite me. So when the sun comes out, can you see the difference the sunlight makes to everything? It just brings everything alive. And it's such a nice temperature this time of year. I've had a few hot days up the top end. I had a 35 one day, which was insane. Especially that bit where I was going along the power lines in the sand, if you recall, if you've watched the others, if you recall that section, that was not fun. Most of the days it's been between about 20, maybe 19 degrees and 25, which has just been perfect cycling temperature. No humidity. It's just been wonderful. Hello, are you bibba-ming?
Yes.
I find that really hard to say.
It is hard to say.
Bibba or bibby?
I just call it the bib.
So I don't know if I mentioned my right fork bag mount on my fork has come away. The Velcro on it after this many kilometres just didn't hold. I tried putting some more cable ties on it. That didn't seem to do the trick. So basically I've MacGyvered it and stuck a whole shitload of tape and taped the bejesus out of it onto the fork. To be fair, I've gone on 3 or 4 bikepacking trips with them up till now, and it's done about 900k on the Munda Biddi before coming loose. Ooh. Snakey, 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 snakey. Hello, snakey. So I'm just waiting for a bit of a there's no break in the traffic. There's cars coming. I'll go after this one. Right. There's a pelican there. You can't see him, but he's right there. I'll get killed if I do that. So you get all the traffic on the Munda Biddi, including the local farmer. I tell you what, I've come to the conclusion there is not a huge percentage of happy people in this world. They all seem to be doing things out of obligation. Hang on, there's a river there. And I don't know, this trip's taught me to follow my heart and follow my dream. If you don't do this, you're just existing, you know? You really need to make an effort to get that balance in your life where you can follow your dream. First of all, you've got to find your dream, or your dream will actually find you. There we go. So my pelican mate's buggered off. Never mind. Here, like I was saying, I don't know, just people you meet don't seem to be in a happy space. The world is changing, and I've really noticed it over the last 3 weeks. When I get back, I'm going to totally decompress and just go through the finer points of what learnings I personally have gathered from this. It's not just a bike ride, by the way, it's more than that. Anyhows, a not waving farmer could bring on that reaction from me. And, you know, for all I know, he might have just had an argument with his wife. He might have been late to a contract that he's, you know, been paid a lot of money to do. Who knows? Might just be a non-waving person. The section I'm about to ride was put in place to divert around 2 things. First thing, obviously, the busy road. We don't want to be riding on that, as you've just seen. And secondly, the landowners who have agricultural properties. Obviously they don't want trail riding straight through, so they diverted the trail on these gravel roads. Yeah, that one waved. Did you see that? You see, it's really funny. Some wave and some don't. That one even waved before I waved. So yeah, getting back to this section of track, it's a big loop that basically brings us back round to that road that I just crossed the bridge on. There's a lot of little side pullouts for people to free camp. While I've been riding along here, I've seen quite a few who've overnighted there. Right, the river is just along here to the side. So that's the thing about Western Australia. As long as you've got your permit for the parks, there are many, many places you can free camp as long as you're self-contained. The sign has pedestrian cyclists next to 5 kilometres. When I was coming around the corner, I couldn't quite see the dot and I thought it said 50 kilometres, and I thought, yeah, well, I didn't think we're on a main road for that long, so just 5 kilometres for us today, and I suspect we'll hit the main road at that point. I think Young Siding, there's a little shop or something at Young Siding where we can stop and have a bit of a break. How many Ks have we done so far? 18.5. So we're travelling pretty well. The bike is much, much lighter. I've hardly got any food, and when I say I hardly got any food, I've got food for a couple of days, which is pretty obvious that I've been carrying too much food. So hot tip number 8042 is just be very mindful of the amount of weight of food you're taking. You really don't need that much. And heavy things like things in jars, and just try and minimise the amount of food, because to be honest, you don't need it. The towns along the way have been more than adequate at providing food, and it's really good to inject some funds into the local economy as well. So just had a bit of a climb up and over the crest here. So it's very much pastoral country, a lot of cattle. It's still quite damp, there's quite swampy in places, but definitely more cleared, not the amount of forest that we've been used to up to this point. Whee! Ha! I love freewheeling. Oop, tar seal. I wonder how long that will last for, probably just the bridge. Yeah. This pretty flax all along the road here. It's lovely because it's got that tinge of yellow along with the green. I think it's flax or some sort of reed of some description, all the way along the road here. Very, very pretty. So what you see coming here is an idea of how much dust these things can kick up. Kabusha! Nuts! It's a -2 grade, and because of the headwind I'm having to pedal. How annoying is that? I feel like I've been robbed of my downhill. It's a relief. I actually thought for a moment there we might have to go on this really busy road, which I think is the Lower Denmark Road. Very busy, but hey, we've got a little trail that's going to take us to safety. This is nice. Don't like riding on roads. I'm not a road rider. I'm not a hardcore off-road rider. I'm sort of somewhere in between. I ride my own ride. So I've just come across this little bridge. This is a trail that runs parallel to the main road, and I found these remains of what would have been the original bridge over this little creek. Not too much of this, not like Tasmania where I saw quite a lot. There's not too much of this sort of stuff So this is the place that Jen and Jim told me about, but I'm way early. It's 9:15 and I think they open at 10. So luckily I had a coffee this morning anyway, before I left Denmark. So we'll crack on to the next, I think it's Young's Siding, I think is the next little general store. So for once I'm too early. Usually I'm the late one. Never mind. Right now the sun's come out. If I was a snake, I would love to lie on this little patch of trail. So I am just going to take it. Oh God, if I can get going. Actually, there's not a lot of room. I'm just going to keep riding. Not too fast though, mate. Just at a reasonable pace. A snake avoidance pace. God, close to the road. Holy moly. Wouldn't want to be riding on that. We've got to cross the main road here. We rode down that way, we'd be in Albany. Sorry, if we rode that way, we'd be in Albany very soon, 37 kilometres, but we're taking the scenic Munda Biddi route. Okay, cross with care here. I think I'll walk this one. Last thing you want to do is fall off in front of the traffic. How embarrassing. Yep. Oh, God. Slap, slap. Flick, slap. Ah. Oh, don't catch in the bars. Please. Okay, I got this. Young's Siding. You know, it reminds me of Banarkin on the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. So apparently we have toilets here at the Young's Siding Community Hall. We also have a bike rack. Look at that. Oh, this is nice. So we turn off this big road and do a loop around. We've just left Young's Siding. I'm actually staying at Cosy Corner tonight, so I'm going to have to make sure I don't miss the turn off. Did I tell you there's a headwind? I'm pretty darn sure there's always a headwind here. I've been pretty lucky so far with headwinds. I've really only had them in the last couple of days. So I think I'm pretty grateful for that, given the fact I've ridden over 1,000 kilometres. Hello, moo cows. Don't know why, but we always... Hello. 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 It's okay. They're probably saying, what on earth is that? I've seen several million of you guys ride by. We've got some wee Shetland ponies right by the fence. I wonder if I'm going to scare them. Hey, sweet peas. You trying to shelter from the bloody wind too, are you? Are you trying to shelter from the wind? Hello, darling. You are just so cute. Can I take a picky? Why do I talk to them like that? I don't know. I swear. Tell me you do the same. Gotcha. Now, because I had a big cry, I need to blow my nose. This is very cute. Look at that. How cute is that? So the gravel roads go on, but they're very pleasant to ride on. This is skirting the main busy road, so we're going through some farmland, and fairly soon I'm pretty sure we'll be connecting back with the main road again for a short spell. Okay, so just discovered I'm way off course. I should be over there, so I missed a massive... I could have been going through all that beautiful forest. Oh well, this seems to be par for the course of my Munda Biddi. We'll get back on track soon. Just got to go this way. Probably added an extra couple of Ks. That's all right. It wasn't horrible Ks. I enjoyed it. I was thinking to myself how I missed that turn. My guess is I was listening to my favourite Pink Floyd track, Comfortably Numb, and was off with the Pixies again and totally missed the arrow. But as luck would have it, it's going to be easy to get back onto the track again. So after my wrong turn debacle, I'm enjoying this downhill back to the main freeway. Okay, coming up to the main road. We're only on it for a little bit and then we're off it again. And then we just turn off onto a whole different world. This is paralleling the main road. And it's really good because it's all this foliage on either side is sheltering me from that stonker of a wind. It's just very, very strong wind today. And here it's just so calm and peaceful, apart from the traffic just there, of course. Okay, so this little corridor I've just been riding along, very rail trailish, and just rode over these two sleepers here. So this is definitely an old railway line of some description, now just a rail trail. But you can see the two sleepers here left embedded in the trail. And then we just turn off into this little single track section. Again, it looks like something from that a hobbit would inhabit. Look how beautiful these little flowers are. These are like peach coloured versions of the white ones I just filmed a little while back. So beautiful. What the hell? It was a rat. A big one too. Oh, pink. This is a darker colour, like a super dark pink, light pink. I wonder if they're orchids. I really don't know what they are. They are beautiful. They're just everywhere. It's just, oh, I've got to take a photo of that one. Look at these flowers. They're just everywhere. It's so beautiful. Whoops. Ka-donk, ka-donk. Yeah, got to baby that right front fork mount. One day to go, baby. Just hang on. I've definitely made better progress today than any other day on the Munda Biddi, mainly because of the surface. It's just basically been gravel road riding. I've done 45 kilometres in probably about 3 hours, which just goes to show that I can actually get somewhere reasonably quickly. We're getting close to the turn off to Cosy Corner. Whee! See how brackish the water is here? It's just full of tannins. Cosy Corner east. No camping. Shall we go straight ahead? Let's go straight ahead. Reduce speed. Apparently a very nice beach. There's a few white caps out there. It's still a bit of a stonker of a breeze. Oh, I've got to right back up here again. Oh well. Oh gosh, look at that view. Probably wish I'd taken my bags off. Never mind. Yeah, oh, there's a picnic table. I like picnic tables. Okay. Just on the ridge of the hill across the bay here, probably can't see on the Action 4 unless we zoom in, but there's a whole row of wind turbines, perfectly placed. That's where I'll be riding tomorrow. I believe it's quite challenging, the one last push into Albany. So we'll be looping around and then coming up through the dunes and up to where the wind turbines are. The one last push, so I'm not going to skip it. I'm tempted, but I'm not going to give up this close to the finish line.